Welcome back, guys, for some more K2V2 here on Bear's Den, and we had another live stream the other day that we talked about previously, and I actually got our trains up and running in that live stream. So we have one over here delivering coal over here, and we have another one over here delivering stone over here as well. Each of them only have one cargo wagon right now. I do still need to get this hooked up and delivered. The show you how I did this here. I wanted to make sure that the coal that we have up here is getting used up first. So I had the coal that's being delivered come in on this line and set this as the main priority, which is all of these combined together, which I still really should make a little less horrible looking. You can see we're really getting low on stone over here, and I did similar here, except I also went to the point of making sure that everything is going to that side, which is where most everything is getting taken from, before I input from this side. So this only actually kicks in when we get low on stone. Our power is okay for the moment, but barely. We seriously need to look into probably getting some solar panels and accumulators soon. I did make 3 new boilers to put in, but those aren't really doing a lot without doing like 10 or 20 at a time for the amount of power that we're currently using. I did also hook up the iron down here, and it is running up and across here. Across here. So when we use lots of iron, that'll get kicked in as well. And I did the same type of thing here so that all of our iron from here, which is really getting low, and all of the iron from over here will get used up first. Then I also set up this here for iron and steel down to the oil processing area. This is all iron. This one is steel. And each of them are set to only do 6,000 for the iron and 600 for the steel, because that should be approximately the right ratio for that. Not 100% sure why this is here, and apparently it's supposed to be, but oh, it's connected to that over there, but for some reason not connecting over to this one. Yeah, I'd much rather that be there to connect so that everything is connected up. Also went through with the cliff explosives and got rid of a lot of our cliffs. I still need to get rid of this one up here, and I believe, oh no, we missed those. We do still have a bunch over in this area, but we're not using that area yet. And I also ripped out the one that was running up through here, straightened up this whole mess, and we put in this loading area for those. So, oh, and move the southern wall down so we have more room here and we're not right on top of the oil processing. And I also ran the last of our basic automation tech and logistic tech cards. Got us up to modules, got plastic unlocked. So we can start getting into blue, which I unlocked it, researched it as well. So you can see I did the solar panels, mining productivity, plastic, inserter speed, the advanced circuits, all of that stuff. And I did set up a fuel stop here, and I did the interrupt thing for it. For some reason, I'm having issues with it working, and I'm second guessing my way I. Sorry about that. The way I did it previously, that it worked. So I don't know what's going on. And so after this recording, I'm going to go check my vanilla one where I set it up, because I don't know if it's something to do with the Coke or if it's just me being stupid. Because, you know, like I told Junior earlier, there's always that option that it just could be I'm doing something dumb. But right now they have plenty of Coke in them, so it's not going to be an issue for quite a while. I have it right now set to Coke. I did originally have it set to the fuel parameter, for the wild card of any fuel, basically. And it didn't work with that, so that's when I changed it to Coke. And right now it says condition fuel Coke is less than or equal to 10. And I was thinking that was weird that it's a constant number there and that it should be, you know, Coke is less than 10. But that's the way it looks. So I'm, like I said, I'm going to go check and see if that's my problem. But then they go to the fuel stop and stay there until they're fully fueled. So if you can see something I did wrong in that, let me know. But we are going to work on today getting the we need to make sulfuric acid, because we need to get to and we need to make plastic. We need to get advanced circuits done. And for advanced circuits, we need plastic, because we need the electrical component, which is this, which needs glass, silicon, and plastic bars. And for the blue tech card, we need sulfuric acid and those advanced circuits and glass. So we're really going to have to ramp up glass production, because we need glass for the electrical components, and we need glass for the chemical tech card. So we're going to have to deal with that. So I figured today we're going to deal with getting sulfuric acid made, which I may end up changing around some of how I did the train that's bringing in iron. because we're going to need iron and copper for our batteries, which we're also going to deal with today. So we should have everything but the copper down here to be able to get plastic done, getting sulfuric acid done. So let's stop running Yeppas and get to work. So first off, we need to make sulfuric acid, and we shouldn't need too much of this at the moment. So we should be able to get away with doing basically the same thing we did here for the explosives. Now, granted, all of this may move up, and we also may put more down below as well. But now we just need to get sulfur and iron into this. So if we run a belt here, that'll take care of that. We're going to need a... Oh, give me a second. I forgot to grab pipes. Be right with you. Well, it looks like I made a minor mistake and that I never saved. I never made a box for the underground pipes or for the regular pipes. So let's get this set up so we can have underground pipes. And then we're going to put this one here, use filter, and we want straight pipe. So then we're going to, it's not going to work. The bots can't do it, but it'll work for my copying it basically. So then there's that. And now we can set this for 2 of them. And now that'll keep us 2 stacks of those in there. And we also should probably do this to make those able to output way faster. All right, so that's taken care of. And I filled up on a bunch of other stuff that was running a little bit low. I still need to go and empty my inventory because my inventory is a cluttered mess as always. And I was thinking about it while I was walking up there. I think what we might do is put a second train car on this. I've got it set up for right now a circuit condition, which I need to set up said circuit condition, which, if I remember, if anybody knows me well enough, you'll know that's probably not going to be a thing, and we'll do it in another one. If I can remember, we'll set that up in a minute at the end. But what I'm thinking is we're going to set up a condition for that one that it will check if any of the belts are empty. Okay, so that's an input for this one. That's an input for this one, which doesn't need to be. It's this one. We need those 2. And then we can skip that and do those 2. And now, is that going to give me enough room. Yes, because that's going to jump both of those. So then we can have the input go in with a red one at the other fluid input. Except that doesn't work because that's too far away. So we need to move this belt is what we need to do. So we need this here, which needs to be this way. Okay. And then we can just use these. And that works perfectly fine. And since we've got all these wooden ones, we should be able to get away with just using them to go right there. And then we just need to copy this onto the other side and set up a pipe through there. And since we're going to need a lot of sulfuric acid for things, you know what? This isn't going to work. We got to be able to power that. So we need one of these that'll then power all of that. And then we'll just have one of these go like here. And that'll take care of all of that. All right, so I'm going to run back up. I completely forgot to grab the tank. We're going to need sulfuric acid for the science thing. We're going to need it for the batteries. And we're going to need it eventually for uranium processing. So I'm going to use one of those big steel tanks that we made. That way we can store a decent amount of it. I'll get the other side copied, get the tank, bring it down, and be back with you in just a minute. All right, so I got it mirrored on the other side there. So now I am going to take this one up just a bit higher. And we're going to put a splitter here. That'll split these off over to either lane, and that'll leave us a little more room here to put some more in. I probably should start working south of it instead, but we need to get over all of this as well. So now we can do this. Yeah, let's go ahead and bring it back down just a bit. And that's going to be too far, so we'll just do that. And then we'll bring that out over here. Bring this down just a little more. What the hell was all that? Okay. Like that. And then we're going to have iron come in here. We're going to have sulfur come in here. All right. So now we need to run this up. And this is where I need to decide on this, how we're doing this. Because I could change it over. The reason why I have this with the numbers I have it is because a barrel needs 1 and a grenade needs 5. So I completely screwed it up anyways, because I did a 1-to-6 ratio, a 1-to-10 ratio. I think I did 1-to-10. I just realized that it's supposed to be 1-to-5. 1 steel, 5 iron. And I did 6,600, which is a 1-to-10 ratio. So we're going to have extra iron anyways. So we can siphon off some of that iron then to go for the batteries and sulfuric acid. So we need to have copper come into this one, and maybe some more iron, I'm not sure. But we have enough room there that we can put an extra cart in. So that's not going to be a problem. But anyways, the condition that I want to do, we're going to end up with another belt coming down here that's going to be for the copper. So what I'm thinking is that we're going to use one of these. Get rid of a couple of trees here. And let's actually move this up here. And being indecisive about my placement. There we go. So what I'm thinking is we're going to have one of these here going there and not doing that. And then that'll also be connected to here and here. And all of these need to be just reading the content. Now we have pulse, which is the signal is sent for only 1 tick when the item enters the belt. Hold, the signal is sent continuously as long as the items are on the belt. And then hold all belts. The signal is sent continuously as long as the items are on this belt or directly connected belts in front and in back. That's a new one. I don't remember that one. But what we want is hold. And we want that on all 3 of these. So that if there's any item, it's going to tell us what we have. That's all we want to know, is how many is on that belt. So what we're going to do for our condition is going to be that any of these are empty. So we're going to need 3 conditions. And if there's a different way to do this, let me know. But this is how I think it's going to work best. So we're going to set 1 for iron, steel, and copper. And if they equal 0 is what we want. And this is a good point. Let me try something here. See how different that 10 looks than when we do the constant number on the fuel one? That's what's bugging me. Because that one on the fuel one looks so different than that. Which is why I think I did something wrong with it. Because that's what I'm used to the number looking like. Okay, so if iron equals 0 or steel equals 0 or copper equals 0, which it does, then give us a symbol, and we'll just use a green check mark. Set to 1. So right now it's giving us a signal equaling 1 because copper is not here. If we take that one out, it should not. Oh, because that is still there. There isn't one giving that signal. But now we take that out, it's gone. So if I just set this back up real quick, equals, and we could also do it if it's less than like 2 or 1 or something like that. But this is fine. If there's nothing in this area, which gives us a pretty good load here, and if we end up running so much that we're running out, we can always do a buffer as well. But I think this is fine. Can we actually, because that is an idea. Yeah, we can. Why did I think I couldn't do that? But yeah, we could actually go and check here rather than checking the belt. And that would actually be better. Okay, let's do that. So instead of doing this, we're going to connect to all of these. And then we'll have the copper one over here, which we don't currently have because we don't have copper here. But that'll do the same thing. And then we can read if it is less than, and say 2,000 for iron, 200 for steel, and we want that less than. So now we're going to be getting a signal for steel, and then less than, and it's probably going to be around 200 again for copper. We may even do copper at like 100 because copper is only going to be needed for the batteries. But now we can grab a signal out of here, send it into there. I'm going to jump in the train. We need to add the fuel low interrupt so that we have it when I get it fixed. We already got plenty of fuel in it. And so then we set the circuit condition that we're waiting for is a green check mark that equals 1. So now if it gets 1 that equals 1, it's going to take off and go back up to get refueled. And then when it gets up here, we have this one set to 5 seconds of inactivity because we have these buffers that are sitting here filling them all the time. So we should have no issue with there being a low amount. So I think what we might actually do is change this. Let's put him on manual for right now. Let's take out the steel, which is going to be a problem because my inventory is now full of steel. But let's go ahead and grab a lot of that, put it in here, and then put some copper in there as well. And we'll just do this half and half. We'll have it half copper, half steel, and then just let this one completely fill. So we can actually just take this off so that we're not stopping these. Okay, so that will just completely fill with iron, which is what we want it to do. And we need to get this steel moved into here. My inventory wasn't quite so bad. We'd actually be able to get it moved. All right. So just start filling it into here. And we're going to have to, you know, fix this in a second. Because we need to leave room in there for the copper. And so we're just going to put a chest. Well, so we don't have to move that iron. We'll just put it here. And we'll have that go in there like that. And then we can bring this down here. That'll take care of that. And then I need to take this one out momentarily. And we want to have like 2 rows of each. So give me that. That'll leave us 2 rows of each. Now you can do a middle mouse button thing and set each one of these to where that'll be the only thing that's in that stack. And if I do it on an empty one, it'll do whatever. So I'm going to do that so that we only ever have copper in half and steel in the other half. So give me a minute. Let me get the copper ran down here. I'll be right back. All right, got that done, and you can see that our iron is really moving. So we can take a look at the thing over here and see how it is working. And it does look like that I need this one set to input priority there. And then that should be... Why is this one? Oh, I see why it's moving, because that side isn't moving. Okay. So we can fix that by just doing this. And that should keep more of that moving in from there. It's not going to fix all of them. I need to do it up there instead of down here, but it'll take less from here and more from here, which is what we want. So I need to work on that. And this is a good time for me to get this iron ore out of my inventory. Okay, so now we have copper, and sadly I don't have the... Oh, I can do it. Perfect. I didn't think I could do this because it always does the jumble up thing, but there. Now I can do that, and it sets it to only copper and then only steel for the other one. So now steel cannot go in. Even if we remove those, only the copper will go into there. So now we just got to let this sit and run. And once it gets full, it will take off. Now, once we get the bulk or stack I don't know what they're called in this one. The green one with the extra wide arm. Um, in vanilla, they changed it to bulk instead of stack. I don't know if this changed that at all because of it having its own inserters as well. We'll get to that when we actually can make them. But now that'll give us our copper, iron, and steel, which I'm going to go ahead and tell it to screw off and go back down here so we can catch a ride. Hold on. Why did you? Oh, I know why you did that. Because you're still getting a circuit interval. Um, yeah, we need to manually stop you. And then we need to set a how do I want to do this? Yeah, let's do time pass. Like, yeah, actually 30 seconds is plenty. That's enough time for the copper to get in the chest. So, no, no, no. Stop moving. All right. So now we need to remove this one and we're going to move this one over. And now we got to make sure that we have this correct. We'll just move this like this. And we're going to do this. We're going to set this for the steel. We're going to set this one for the copper. And then we are going to cut them both out. Put them in right there. And then I can do that. And we're going to have equal amounts of steel and copper. We are going to need way more copper, though. Yeah. So we're going to have copper go into those, which I messed it up. And we'll have the steel go into these two. So we'll just do this. Don't know why I took that out. And that'll be our steel, which will do like this. There we go. That'll take care of the steel. And we'll put this over here. This will take care of our copper. And we'll do similarly with this. And we'll use that when we actually need it. Right now, we currently don't need it. And we can also turn off the filter for all of these. I actually don't know how to remove that. It's not going away. But it doesn't matter because we don't need it. So now we can just do that because that'll never have anything in it but iron now. And then we just need to run this. There we go. And now we should be able to put this back like that. It'll run around so it can get itself into the proper placement. And now it should not leave because it is not getting its signal from any of these because none of them are low. And only when it gets to a low amount will it then take off, go get filled, and come back down. And I may end up doing something up there to where it can fill it quicker. My reasoning for doing it this way, which I probably should change those constants to be less than a full chest, is what I probably should change it to. And I think that's what I'm going to do. So this is 10, 20, 30, 40, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's 48 for a single chest. So steel will need to be less than 9,600. So now it's going to go back up and get more because steel is less than that. And that'll be for filling both of them. And then copper has 4 of them, so 96. And 96 is not a number my brain. It's 194? 192. Is it 192? Hold on. Bear's gonna cheat. 9,600 times 4. Yeah, I'm completely wrong. 38,400. So we want this one set to 38,400. So now that will be that one. And then this one is 4,800. Wait a minute. Am I being stupid? I think I'm being stupid. It's 48 stacks. So it's 48 times 200, which is 9,600 or 9,600. So 9,600 times 2 is 19,200. So this one needs to be 19, and we're just going to say 19,000. So then the 9,600 times 6 for the iron is going to be 57,600, but we'll just say 57,000. What's 600 between friends? And then the 9,600 times 4 is 3,840, which is what we have. So now all of these have to be basically full. And then the train will take off and go get something else. which I am going to change the copper one and make it just a flat 38,000. That way each of them are rounded to the nearest thousand. All right. So I think that is a decent place to leave off here, except two minor things, which one is in all the things I grabbed, I didn't get any extra of these for some stupid reason. So we're going to take the iron over here, and it'll then go into here. This will no longer be here because in a matter of a 45-minute video, I have changed my mind like 6 times. But anyways, there we go. We now have iron. We now have sulfur. And the only thing we need to do now is get our water. And we're going to use steel pipes at the bottom. Oh, we can't. We have to do... Now that sucks. So I'm going to have to change these all out to steel. Which is fine. I was just trying to be cheap and use iron ones, but I am perfectly fine with using steel instead. I just think it's weird that they don't connect. But if these are supposed to be bigger, it does make sense. But it doesn't look like they do. It looks like, yeah, it looks like they hold the same amount. Maybe they have more pressure. I don't know. I don't know the exact reasoning for that. But we're going to leave the water lines as steel. Sulfur is fine with being what it is here. And I did bring all 3 tanks, honestly. So we have a 25K, we have a 50K, and we have a 200K. And I seriously don't think we need the huge one for sulfuric acid. We don't need that many connections, and we don't need it to hold that much. But I really love this tank because it's got straight connections. So we're going to use this, and we're going to do this. That way we can put this tank right here and then run the pipe right down there. And now we're making us a tank of 50K sulfuric acid, which we will use hopefully next time making batteries. But the first one is going to be plastic because we need to get plastic done. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys next time for more chemistry stuff. Have a good one. Oh, and don't forget, if you want to see the work, the stream will be available sometime after this is released. Probably right about the time this is released. So you can go watch it before you watch this, or however you like. Later.